called the Phoenix. As I told my friend up in Detroit, I said, I think we need to watch these 33 miners trapped in a pit. We need to find out when they're going to ascend. It wasn't too long after that we finally heard that they had a plan to remove the 33 out of the pit. The plan was to have this escape pod specially built for this, and it was called the Phoenix. And when I heard that, I went, now I know. Now I know what's going on. Let's understand what the Phoenix is. In fact, let me before we do that, let's look at the symbolism here of this. I want you to get this, and I'm going to describe this in very G-rated terms. Remember, we talked about the fusion of the opposites, the sons of God mating and joining in with the daughters of men. The great rite ritual that was performed September 11th, 2001 at the Pentagram building, where the male enters into the female. So I want you to look at this, because we're looking at the symbol of conception and rebirth. Conception and rebirth. So we have the male entering into the female. It's similar to the blade and the chalice of the Knights Templar, or the blade and chalice of the Great Rite Ritual. The Phoenix tube entering into the female, which is the earth. The male entering into the female. We have the conception, and we have the tube going in, and then we have the Phoenix being brought back out, bringing the 33 miners. That's the imagery that we get here. By the way, this tube was designed to be exactly 13 feet long. Remember the 13-step pyramid on top of the Masonic building. Also, the 13 rows of stones on the unfinished pyramid. And it says, Annuit Coeptus, which means he favors the birth, the conception and the birth of a Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new world order. By the way, 13. Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. 13-word title in your King James Bible. So we know what we're dealing with here. The symbolism of the phoenix is that the phoenix, mythological bird, birds in the Bible are pictures of angels, things with wings. A fallen angel. Revelation chapter 9 verse 11, the king, who is the king of the bottomless pit. He's an angel. He is the king of the bottomless pit. The phoenix is a bird that dies in a flame and is resurrected out of its own ashes. Manly P. Hall said concerning the phoenix, and there's several quotes here. He says, out of the cold ashes of lifeless creeds, however, shall rise phoenix-like the ancient mysteries. The dying God shall live. That's what he said. So the phoenix in itself is a picture of the God who was died, the beast that was and is not and yet shall be. The phoenix is an emblem of the Antichrist, who is in the pit, dead, in a tomb, buried, and he's going to live again by ascending up. Manly Hall also said in the mysteries it was customary to refer to initiates as phoenixes, or men who had been born again. For just as physical birth gives man consciousness in the physical world, so the neophyte, after 9 degrees in the womb of the mysteries, was born into a consciousness of the spiritual world. This is the mystery of initiation to which Christ referred when he said, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Notice that's John 3:3. The phoenix is a fitting symbol of this spiritual truth. He goes on to say, the Egyptians occasionally represented the phoenix as having the body of a man and the wings of a bird. That's an angel creature. This biform creature had a tuft of feathers upon its head, and its arms were upraised in an attitude of prayer. As the phoenix was the symbol of regeneration, the tuft of feathers on the back of its head might well symbolize the activity of the pineal gland or the third eye. Folks, it's all there. The serpent rising up the 33 bones of your spine, activating your pineal gland, your third eye. Illumination. That's what that was referring to. This symbolism of what took place on Wednesday, October 13th, 2010, was intended to be an awakening to people. It was intended to be a subliminal ideology given to people all over the world that the phoenix, number 33, is soon to be rising. And what I don't know of anybody that said, oh, these guys ought to die, we need to keep them in. I don't know of anybody that said that. Everybody said, these people need to rise up. The 33 need to come up out into the light. That was the imagery being planted, the ritual performed to empower the gods to do what they have planned to do in this world. Manly Hall goes on to say, Masonry will be in a position to solve many of the secrets of its esoteric doctrine when it realizes that both its single and double-headed eagles are phoenixes, and that to all initiates and philosophers the phoenix is the symbol of the transmutation and regeneration of the creative energy, commonly called the accomplishment of the great work. The double-headed phoenix is the prototype of an androgynous man. So Albert Pike here is saying that the phoenix, his birth and death and resurrection, is a symbol of the man who is both God and beast. Male, androgynous, female, androgynous, male and female together. The phoenix, the double-headed, in fact, even Albert Pike says the two heads of the eagle represent the male and the female fused together in the same body. When you see the phoenix, you see Baphomet. The God who is both male and female. That's not Jesus. That is the beast rising up in the last days. Notice this, Genesis chapter 3, verse 5. For God doth know, this is what the serpent spoke to Eve. This is of the 46 words. Remember the chromosomes? Of the 46 words that the devil, the serpent, spoke to Eve. For God doth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. It just so happens that the 33rd word spoke to Eve was eyes. The pineal gland. The third eye. A ritual was performed. Not only a ritual to invoke the power of the spirit of Antichrist that John said is already at work in the earth right now, and I believe that, but a ritual that was designed to illuminate the minds of mankind all over the world, so that we see the phoenix rising. And I'll tell you, the phoenix is not a Christian symbol. It is a symbol of the Antichrist rising up in the last days. This was done right in front of our very eyes. How many things going on around us do we see? Advertisements, movies. People sending me movies. Pastor Mike, I saw this in a movie. Or I tell you what really impresses me. Pastor Mike, my son was watching television, or they were watching a movie, and they said, Mommy, come and look at this. Doesn't this talk about the Antichrist or the devil? I tell you what I'm thankful for. I tell you that I'm thankful that the devil did not open my eyes. That God, I was lost and now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. I see according to this Bible right here, the truthfulness of what's going on. I'm glad that we have an opportunity right now in this world to expose things. Now, let me say this, and I said it earlier. Am I glad that minors are out of there? Boy, you bet. If that was my family, if that was me down there, man, I'd want out of there. So we're glad, we're thankful. We hope that they all trust Jesus with all of their heart. Well, that's what we hope. But I will tell you the symbolism behind it, the ritual behind it. And if you think, oh, come on, men didn't orchestrate this, what'd they do, blow that up? No, because the true nature of any conspiracy is that spirits are involved. Spirits.